Welcome back everyone. So in the last video, we solved patients with a condition, which was 45th question in our SQL 50 series. And in this video, we are going to solve delete duplicates emails. So let's dive in. So in this question, we are given person table, which has two columns, ID and email, where ID is the primary key for this table. Each of this table contains an email. The email will not contain uppercase letters. Now we have to write a solution to delete all the duplicate emails, keeping only one unique email with the smallest ID. For SQL users, please note that you are supposed to write a delete statement and not a select one. For pandas user, please note that you are supposed to modify person in place. After running your script, the answer shown in the person table, the driver will first compile and run your piece of code and then show the person table. The final order of the persons table does not matter. Okay. The result format is in the following example. So in the person table, in this first example, we see we have two IDs, ID1 and ID3, which are same. What we have to do is we have to keep only the smallest ID and delete other one. So the smallest among the 1 and 3 is 1. So we'll keep the first, that is john at example.com, with an ID of 1, and we'll delete the one with an ID of 3. Okay. So we are left with only ID 1 and 2. So let me write the query so that we can understand it better. So first I'll write the select query, then we will modify it to delete the emails. Okay. So I'll select something from person table, and we'll have to group these tables because to check for duplicates, what we will do is we will join person table with itself in such a way that in the left table we will be having this entry, and in the right table we will be having an entry which has the same email ID, but the ID in the right table, is smaller than the left table's ID. Okay. So for example, in the left table we'll be having this entry, and in the right table we'll be having an entry with the same email ID, but the ID will be smaller than 1. So there is no ID, so no entry. So for this, there is also no right, no right table for this. So there will be no entry for this. For this, we will be having an entry where the right table will contain the same email address, that is john at example.com, but the ID is smaller than 3, that is 1. So we'll be having only a single entry in the resulting table. So we'll select something from person P1, join person P2 on condition that P2 dot ID should be less than P1 dot ID. Okay, and not equal to. If we create a condition like this, then it will include the entry itself, which we don't want. We only want the entries which we want to delete. Okay, so let's select everything initially to show you the result of this. Table person, so it will be person. So this is our output, which is wrong, which is not what we want. So we want to join on a condition. We forgot one condition, that is email condition. So p1 dot email is equal to p2 dot email. Okay, and p2 dot id should be less than p1 dot id. Okay, so we are not getting any results because as per the question we have to write the delete statement. So I am telling you that if you run the query, what you will get is all those email IDs which are duplicate, and except the smallest ID, you will get all the emails. So for example, for this input example table, we will get this as an entry. Okay, because what we are doing is we are joining the same table with itself, and we are selecting only those emails which have p2.id less than p1.id. So p2 is the right table. Okay, So let me explain you. Okay, so what we'll select is the first entry, that is John. For the second, it will be Bob. And for the third, it is again John. So this will be our left table. Similarly, we will be having the right table. 1, 2, 3, John, Bob, and John. Now, for this ID, we'll have to join in such a way that p2.id should be less than. But for this ID, there is no ID that is less than 1. So there will be no match. For 2, we have to join in the right table such that email is same and ID is smaller. So this ID is matched with this, but ID is equal to 2. But we want the smaller ID, which is not found. So this will be not included. Then we came to the last entry. So email is John, that is 2 entries. Okay. We have to join with only those entries where the ID is smaller than 3. So this will not be joined, but this will be joined. So this entry is joined with this entry. So the final output will include only 3 John, 1 John. Okay. Now from this result set, we have to delete this one and keep this one. Okay. So all we have to do is replace select with delete. And what we want to delete, since we have joined person p1 with person p2, and as I shown you that we have to delete the left table's id. So left table is p1, so we have to delete the p1 entry. Okay, so let's see the result of this query. So our test case has been passed. Now we will submit this to see the final results. Okay, so our solution got accepted.